Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 19. But the impious, all the way to the very end, were overcome by anger without mercy. Indeed, he knew beforehand even their future. Yet, seeing that they might have repented, so that they would be led by him and be sent forth with great concern, the just sought the impious while regretting their deeds. For, while the just were still holding grief in their hands and weeping at the tombs of the dead, these others took upon themselves another senseless thought, and they cast out the legislators and pursued them as if they were fugitives. For a fitting necessity was leading them to this end, and they were losing the remembrance of those things which had happened, so that what was lacking in the sufferings of the conflict might be completed by the punishment, and so that your people indeed might wonderfully pass through, but these others might find a new death. For every creature according to its kind was fashioned again, as from the beginning, diligently serving your teachings, so that your children would be preserved unharmed. For a cloud overshadowed their camp, and where water was before, dry land appeared. And in the Red Sea, a way without hindrance, and out of the great deep, a level field sprung up, through which the whole nation passed, protected by your hand, seeing your miracles and wonders. For they consumed food like horses, and they leapt about like lambs, praising you, O Lord, who had freed them. For they were still mindful of those things which had happened during the time of their sojourn, how, instead of cattle, the earth brought forth flies, and instead of fish, the river cast up a multitude of frogs. And, lastly, they saw a new kind of bird when, being led by their desire, they demanded a feast of meat. For, to console their loss, the quail came up to them from the sea, and yet troubles overcame the sinners, though they were not without the evidence of what had happened before by the power of lightning, for they suffered justly according to their own wickedness. And indeed, they set up a more detestable inhospitality. Certainly some have refused to receive unknown foreigners, but these others were drafting good guests into servitude, and not only foreigners but also those who had been under their care, because they were reluctantly sheltering the outsiders. Yet whoever had sheltered them with gladness, by making use of the very same justice, they afflicted with the most severe sorrow. Yet they were struck with blindness, like someone brought before the gates of justice, so that they were suddenly covered with darkness, and each one was left searching for the threshold of his front door. For the elements in themselves are in the process of being changed, just as when the sound of a musical instrument is being altered in quality, yet each one keeps its own sound from where it is considered to be, and according to its fixed appearance. For the countryside was transformed by water, and things which were swimming crossed over the land. Fire prevailed in the midst of water, beyond its own power, and the water forgot its quenching nature. On the other hand, the flames did not trouble the bodies of the mortal animals walking around, nor did they melt that good food, which is as easily melted as ice. For in all things, O Lord, you magnified your people, and honored them, and did not despise them, but at every time and in every place you assisted them.